And we are live Wednesday night with those guys. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those
God.
guys. What's up,
Wednesday night.
everyone? I
Hi,
just got
everybody.
your alert.
So what's good, guys?
Well, if for those of you who are wondering, I'm in the kitchen making dinner, and my wife is working late tonight on the computer, so that gives me zero access to my computer. So I won't be able to see the chat room. So please keep an eye out for me.
Keep an eye out for you.
Well, if somebody says, "What's up, novice?" and I can't see the chat room.
Now, you know what I just noticed here?
What's that?
My
By the way, go ahead.
just did with that nonsense that your channel usually does.
See?
Guys were in the chat, and
now it opened up a new window.
It opened up another window. Now, why is it doing that?
I don't know. All day long on Roger's channel, the last couple of days, you have to keep refreshing the Facebook video.
I don't know what guys were over in the other.
They were in another chat, so they're in the chat and waiting. Where you hit set reminder. Remember, my channel was doing that, Paul.
Yeah.
They'll come in. They'll start coming because they'll see the alert that Phantom Flight 101 is live.
So what's going on, Bill? So we got Lawrence today on the cooking channel here.
Yeah, making pepper steak.
So now are you gonna do like a different voice while you do it, like one of those chefs? Like,
today we're using peppers, green peppers, the ones that snap when you bite them.
And where were they grown?
Hell if I know. The green and
the
pepper.
Probably true out in California.
What's up,
hell if I know. Hell if I know is left of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Left of Albuquerque, hell if I know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Hadley.
What's up, Hadley? I can't see the chat.
We got our Bill, coast to coast.
Coast to coast is here. Hadley's here.
What's up, everyone? Well, I got the peppers cut up. I got the onions cut up. I have the garlic cut up. What kind of drone news do we have, or is it too early?
Well,
and let's see how everybody survived the hurricane.
Well, I saw a couple of people flying that day, yesterday. I don't know if they went out early or did it pass before they went out.
It had to be late because the sun came out of nowhere. Once the hurricane was gone, it was my neighbor's rooftop was in my yard and everyone else's yard within a 1 block radius. I told you.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in 20-something years I've experienced a hurricane in this house. And the side wall was going like this. Boom, 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 boom. Like it was trying to blow out. And my sister-in-law was upstairs saying my window is creaking. I told her, open the window, open the bottom of it, open the top of it a little bit, and also open the windows in the front so it won't blow out.
Pressurized.
But it was the first time I had ever seen the side of the house, the siding, not the siding, and the wall was going like this. Really quick. And I was like, yo, let me go inside or something happens. But we did survive, and that's the main part about it. It's just a lot of stuff to pick up in the yard afterwards.
Capture life. What's up, man?
What's up, everyone?
Herman, Herman, you said there was a couple guys out flying during that. Do you think that was it a live shot or was it just?
Well, they might have went out afterwards.
If it was sunny out, it was afterwards because it was cloudy all morning.
Yeah,
until the hurricane hit.
I said once it passed, the sun came out and the day looked like it was a different day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, 4 hours to put together with my daughter her armoire. From IKEA.
Okay.
Don't ever order something from IKEA. We ordered 2 sets. We ordered this armoire and a bed.
Well, be
I have
careful.
heard
Now,
that.
now they come in kits. They come in kits,
Yeah.
right? So the delivery guy comes and he says, "Excuse me, sir, I cannot come in the house." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll carry this." I said, "Is this the first set?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, this is first set." I said, "We're getting two." He says, I know, you get two sets." So I said, "Let me know when this set is done so I can put this set in one pile and I take the second set and put in another pile."
Mhm.
After about the third or fourth box, I'm like, "Is this still the first set? Is this still the first set?" Make a long story short, I wind up getting 7 boxes. So I
Yeah.
said, "This is all for the first set?" He goes, "Yes, yes." I said, "What happened to the second set?" And he looks at me and says, "I'll be right back." So I go. We're waiting in the house 5 minutes. I'm like, "Well, where the hell is he? He building it or something?" I go look outside. The truck was gone.
Yeah.
He gave me all pieces. One set had 3 boxes and one set had 4. This was 3 boxes and her bed was 4. And
Mhm.
then we had to sort them out because you know how small my apartment is, Herman.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see it's barely touching the ceiling here, right?
Uh-huh.
So you have 6'5" pieces laying in the kitchen and in the living room. We had to sort the boxes out and everything, but we got the bed over there ready to be put together, and now that's put together. And it hasn't fallen apart this morning, so I guess we put it together right.
Hey, Lawrence,
Yeah.
this is just a guess, but when you were a kid, you didn't used to work on those 1,000 puzzles on the table either, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
You did?
Those were, in fact,
I
you know
hated
what?
those things.
Those puzzles were too easy for me, and my mother got me a word find. You remember those where you did the oval?
Yeah.
And I gave it back to her in 45 minutes, and she was like, "Well, let me see what you did." I was like, "I finished it." She was like, "Well, show me what you did." I said, "I finished it." She's like, "Well, what do you mean you finished it?" I said, "I finished the whole book." The word find, yeah. So puzzles, that's what it is with IKEA stuff,
Yeah.
because their instructions that come with the box
Hmm.
have no words, just
Yeah.
pictures and sizes of screws. And you have to look at the wood. No, there's no A here, B there, side C1. No, there's none of that. So if you don't know how to look at a picture and size the pieces up, which we had to do,
Hmm.
you're not putting it together. Now, if you go online, they have it in full words and everything.
Okay.
Get the four quarter inch, the 4.25 inch or whatever piece of wood, and we
Do they
got it
have
though.
do they have stickers on each one like A, B, C?
Nothing, nothing, nothing.
So
Only the
their
boxes.
so
Only the
their
boxes.
instructions are basically ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah,
And if it
yeah.
works, it works.
Dude,
Just got to
the
make it look like a
hardware,
box.
the hardware inside, right? Oh damn, I opened it and shit fell out. Sorry, Kai.
Do they have at
Sorry.
least pictures of the?
You know the hardware?
You got extra left over?
No, we don't. You know the hardware, right?
The
That
hinges.
hooks onto the door, the
Uh-huh.
hinges. Well, it tells you to put all of them on because there's 3 doors.
Right.
We put them on, cabinets together. I put it up. I'm holding the door. Something's wrong here. Maybe it's a little short. I had to
Hmm.
take all the hardware off and turn them around so it would reach. And then we were able to put the doors on. But that was the last worst part of it. By then I was done. I was talking to myself.
Well, is that door now open for a reason, or didn't it close properly?
It did, but there's something pushing it on the
Oh,
bottom. I was told to close my closet.
Oh yeah, she don't want you having a closet open.
God forbid, right?
Hey Paul,
yeah.
I was watching a court case that on one of these court programs on television, and this older gentleman was suing the repair place for, believe it or not, his VCR.
Oh, this is funny. Listen to this.
And guy brought the thing and it was badly damaged. And the guy told him, he's like, well, he's trying to fix it, he couldn't fix it. The guy was like, well, why can't you get the parts? He goes, I'm trying to get the parts, but it's badly damaged. He goes, why don't you just get a new one? So the guy takes him to court and sues him for $1,000
Yeah.
because he's saying that the guy was stalling on the repair of his VCR. The guy even offered at this point now to just buy him another one.
Right.
And the guy was like, no, but the judge is like, well, you know, to get a new one is only like $50. He was like, but that one cost me. And he wanted to talk about how that one cost him. And the guy that he had to pay to go down to the repair shop to take a taxi down there and take the taxi back not to get it. And he needs $1,000 for his troubles and to get a new VCR. He don't want the $50.
Yeah, he wants his old VCR fixed, the original joint.
Hey, Blind Neil, what's up? So, hey, feet on the ground.
So what was the verdict?
What's up, Rob?
So the judge awarded him $50 to get a new VCR.
Oh wow.
But see that's what had brought me to that whole idea. Like, people, we all could go around our house or go through things and see some of the old tech that we got laying around, or we put in the closet. Like, we love it so much that we keep it and we just put it in the closet or we put it in the attic, wherever, in the garage. And
You just don't want to let it go.
Right. And I was going through some stuff in the drawer because every time I get a new cell phone and I have the other one, I just throw it in the drawer.
Yeah.
So I was going through the drawer and I found this guy.
Oh wow.
Talk about ancient.
That's Motorola, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Talking about ancient.
That was my first cell phone.
Well, I think back in the closet somewhere, I have one of those Motorola brick phones. You know
the brick ones.
Yeah.
With the telescopic antenna.
Yeah. Well, it has a rubber ducky antenna.
Oh wow.
Looks sort of like the field radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I also had the old Nokia.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the big battery in the back.
Yeah. Well, you
What
remember?
did I do with the top?
You remember when Motorola came out with the little dinky flip phone that had the battery on the lid? So I was showing it to a friend of mine, and he's playing around with it. What's this thing? And he flipped the thing, and we happened to be standing on the water, and there goes my battery right down
into the water.
Oh wow! Wow.
They had a lot of phones that were small like that because even what was it? Who was this company that made this one?
You guys were talking. You're talking Motorola. I remember my first cell phone was an Ericsson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They were about this big, and they had a little mini stubby antenna on them. Right. And in order to text, you had to know that the second beat was B, and on numbers 5 key that the second one was K. Yeah, so you would be like beep 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 while you were trying to text. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's funny because one of my favorite phones, because back when Samuel was making phones, was this little joint right here.
Oh, the flip.
Yeah.
Oh, Roger's got it. See, you can't see it, Lawrence, but I read it to you. Canadian Paul, he says the cable company did measurements on the road today and painted orange lines.
Okay.
So he's hoping that he'll get something above a 0.02.
So
you know what, Roger?
They put the orange lines down to indicate where they're going to work.
Right, where they're going to run the line.
Yeah.
No,
Did they draw orange lines up to the house though?
I don't know.
Because what they'll do is they'll probably run the line and then splice people in. Start splicing them in. That's good, Roger. Congratulations to the 21st century.
Well,
welcome.
Roger, if you'd like to pop in for a few minutes, I'm sure you can come on here and tell us about your cable event.
They're going to have lines just rolled up in the street for months.
Damn, I dropped my phone in the sink.
Doing real good over there.
Well, what I'm doing now is I'm actually I have one big piece of steak, so I just seasoned it really well. I put some ham in a pot. I'm gonna cook it up on both sides really good, medium done.
Saute it, yeah.
And then I have the green peppers and onion and the garlic to throw in the pot to mix in while I'm cutting it up on the plate.
Oh,
So you cooking
oh, you
just
cut
for
up the
yourself.
steak on the plate. You don't cut it up and then put it back in the pan to saute it with the onions.
That's what I'm gonna. Well, what I'm gonna do. The juices from the meat and stuff. While I'm cutting it up on a plate, I'll put in the peppers and the onions and everything. And then after I cut it up, I'm gonna throw it back into
Back
the
in.
pan.
Yep. Let it
And
let
then
it
you
let it
add the
suck up all those.
low
Yeah.
sodium soy sauce
There you
and a
go.
few other ingredients. Oh shit, the white rice.
Oh,
Got to make the rice too.
I thought the rice was burning.
No, no. I want to
Oh,
have it
oh, bubbling on
just finishing,
the
just finishing by the time I get.
Hey,
So
Herman,
we have
maybe we ought to take up a little fun and get him one of them chip hats. That could be
One
a
of
that could be a segment.
Paul,
so we
stop it.
have
You want to
tonight.
take up a fun? You want to take up a fun? Get up a fun to get me a goddamn Phantom 4 Pro radio
So,
transmitter.
so
You're
we
still
have
having problems with that?
Dude, I'm afraid to buy anything off of eBay because people are
Mars
telling me that I
Gallifrey
may
Gourmet.
buy one with the same problem. And
We
I
have
don't have the
Gallifrey Gourmet
$700
today.
to get a brand new one.
Ah. Well, Herman could probably hook you up, couldn't you, Herman? You
Well,
got friends.
Herman has one for his V2 and one for his Phantom 4 Pro. Now he also sent me a link of a guy that had one for $230, brand new, $230. He used it one time, found out he didn't like the Phantom because all his friends. That was a link you sent me, Herman. All of his friends had Mavics, so he immediately was trying to get rid of the Phantom, and
Uh-huh.
someone brought the Phantom and not the controller.
Huh?
But, right. I don't know. This is what he told me. But he lives in the United Kingdom. He
Oh,
said he'll sell it to me for $230, but shipping is probably going to be about $100 to $150 on top of that. And I didn't have it at the time. Plus, I couldn't trust someone I didn't know sending that
Especially,
money all the way to the UK, and then I get
exactly.
fished,
Yeah.
and I get to put on the hee-haw ears because
Yeah.
I should have known better.
Yeah. It's not like you could just walk up and knock on his door, you know?
Right, exactly. Okay,
well,
so what news you got, Herman?
I don't have anything special or nothing too much tonight.
Well, you do. That story about
And,
dude with the licenses, I think, is relevant.
well, it is, but it's not nothing that I have anything major on. What I did want to mention was that one thing that I told you about Lieutenant Junior Grade Madeline G. Swaggle,
Yes,
the
yes,
U.S. Navy's first Black female tactical air pilot. Well, she received
yes.
her gold wings about a week ago in a small ceremony on a base in Kingsville, Texas.
Good for
And
her.
a super congratulations to her because, first of all, it's hard enough for women to get in pilot seats, period.
Yeah,
And then for her to be the first black female tactical. They don't go out and do the regular stuff. They go out and support the Marines when they're doing landings and shit like that.
yeah. She
Or
was
they go out on a
flying.
strike mission and nobody will see them for a month and then they come back type
So
stuff.
I think what we're all in agreement is she's a badass.
Oh yeah, nice looking woman too. She was assigned to the Red Hawk Training Squad BT-21.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well, congratulations to her and any other women who strive after that in any type of military because the Navy don't play. I didn't know this, but the Navy supports the Marines
well, the Marines
out of
Part of the
abroad.
name.
is a
Yeah.
part of the Navy. Actually, guys that tell you that were in the Marines, if they ever had to do any traveling, they got to go
They
and
transport through the
right
Navy.
because a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, very good friend. He's in the he was a Marine and he's in the Marines and he told me that traveling overseas and stuff like that, they'll travel on these ships with the guys from the Navy.
Yeah,
Said the conditions, you're a visitor, so the conditions are kind of tight. But as
yeah, of
far as
course.
He said, as far as the food, the Navy takes care of their people.
Roger said that he'll try and come on after dinner. They're having
I know.
buffalo wings tonight.
Whoa, Roger Ballin, new internet line coming through. Buffalo wings, new drone, which Roger, I saw the footage. Very good. And I must say, Roger, I'm so glad, seriously, and I'm looking at the camera and telling you this. I'm so glad to see you're flying.
Yep.
I don't care, and I want to stress this to the other pilots out there. I don't care if you go up 5 feet off the ground and record that.
Fly.
You're flying.
What you trying to say? I need to get out?
Well,
no,
Herman's still waiting for his friends to take him out every day.
Oh, hold on. Before we get anything, funny, Paul. Before we get into anything, Herman has a surprise. You guys remember last year I was at Yankee Stadium, had shitty reception. I was recording them playing football, the championship.
Right.
Football, which, by the way, was a repeat because they won the year before and they won last year the championship. And Herman got his ring. It's so heavy he couldn't hold his hand up. But the one on our left or your left, you guys that are viewing it, is the new one, the biggest one. And that one is honestly 2.5 sizes bigger than the prior one. And congratulations to Erasmus Hall High School, because they did something no other school in the history of New York City has done before. And what is that, Herman?
We pitched a shutout in the postseason.
Which means nobody scored jack.
Knocked them down,
They came up, they pulled a Tyson, whoop, whoop, whack. Next. So, congratulations. And plus, I wanted him to show off his ring anyway.
That's right.
It's kind of heavy, especially having both of them on the same ring.
You got to get used to that, because if when school starts back to normal, you guys are the champions, and everyone in New York's coming for y'all in your division.
Wear it with pride,
I don't play the piano because that would have looked nice with the.
Yeah.
What'd you say, like Liberace?
Liberace,
just showing the hands, showing the fingers like this with the ring on it.
Yeah. And the next thing he needs to get them sparkly rhinestones around his glasses. Yeah.
Oh no. That you'll never see Herman with a pair of those. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm still trying to get the idea of the lyrics of that Rocket Man thing. So I'm not good with the rhinestone glasses.
and what do they call? They call them elevator shoes or whatever. The great big
platform shoes.
Platforms, platform shoes.
Nah, I'm good. You don't see I got a bad ankle. You won't put me in a platform shoe,
right? Right. You already got a bad ankle.
You'd have to have a platform cast.
Hey guys, did you hear about the FCC fining Hobby King more than $2.8 million for marketing drone transmitters using unauthorized radio frequencies and power levels? I sent you that.
Now, you did, but I don't have access to it because my computer is being used. But what you guys got to realize is we're talking some really serious infractions, meaning if Paul came out with a radio that transmitted at 200 milliwatts, Hobby King was taking that radio and making it transmit 1 watt, 2 watts, 3 watts. So your devices, FPV and or fixed wings and gyro operated aircraft.
Well, you know what, Lawrence, with that's what I was saying to you.
It's hot as hell in here, man. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Well, you're cooking. Well, that's what I was saying to you before.
Yeah, but I got a fan on me. I don't feel shit.
Let me tell you, Washington, right? This is coming from the FC News from the Federal
Federal Communications Commission.
Communications
FCC.
Commission. Yeah.
FCC.
And it also was featured in an article in Drone DJ. But
Okay.
Washington, was it Washington? July 23rd, 2020, the FCC fined Hobby King 2.8 million for marketing transmitters which do not comply with FCC licensing rules. They were transmitting video signal back to and from unmanned aircraft and also drones. They label both in this thing. And what makes it so funny is that they showed in one of the articles that I saw with it, they showed these radios like the ones that you guys use for the FPV. But I remember there were a few companies and that were out there that were selling kits for DJI equipment.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite sure guys who were flying about 3 years ago or so are familiar with this one company called Drone World. They were out in
In
California.
New York. Yes, yes. I'm
They're out in
sorry.
California.
I was thinking
Not
about the one that
Brooklyn,
shut
so
down here in New York.
no,
I'm
not
sorry.
that guy. Not
Yeah.
all he did was take your drone and run. Um,
I shouldn't be laughing, but go ahead.
companies like that, they were selling kits for the DJI equipment. And don't get me wrong, you were getting everything of what they were offering, just that these things are illegal.
Yeah.
And when I was looking to, and at the time I didn't know these things, but I was looking to purchase my P4 Pro at the time. Remember when I told you about this? And I contacted DJI.
Mm-hmm.
I asked DJI if this was an authorized distributor.
Right.
And DJI told me, yes, you can purchase your drone from them. But if you purchase one of their controllers, they warranty the controller. DJI will not warranty their controller.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So DJI knows that they were doing mods.
Well,
Right.
just to clarify for everybody, maybe somebody doesn't know this, but any drone that's sold in the United States has to go through two licensing processes. One with the FAA for airworthiness. And the second one is the downlink and uplinks used on frequencies from the controller to the aircraft.
And let me explain even better. I was trying to use a different word, but it wouldn't come out. Basically, if it goes above a certain frequency, and I learned this about FPV, there are certain frequencies that are close to the 911 emergency frequency band. So if you're operating up and around this frequency, you can actually interfere with radio communications with 911 here in New York. So people tend to stay away from those particular channels and frequencies. But that's basically what they're talking about. Now, Paul, really quick, I just wanted to show you real quick. Now, I take it and slice it up. Throw the peppers in the pot, and the pot's ready to go.
Yeah. So Herman, you getting some of that? He's sending it over to you.
Yeah, okay.
What do you say, Uber, a Grubhub?
I think Novice should get himself a food truck. He could be right on the side of the road making.
You want to know what? I would love that. The only problem is damn, I get up at 3 a.m. any damn way.
That's right.
But check this out though, guys. As far as this is concerned, the FCC did an investigation where they found dozens of their devices were transmitting on these unauthorized radio frequencies. Now, they found that they had over 65 different models that were doing this.
Wow.
They were issued a citation, and Hobby King has ignored the FCC. Now, keep in mind, this took place back in 2018.
Now, where is Hobby King located?
I'm not exactly sure where Hobby King is located, but I do know that the FCC had issued them a citation in which they have ignored. And now
Wrong thing to do.
Well, yeah, well now the FCC has smacked them with this 2.8 million. It's almost 3 million dollars in this fine.
Right.
And they have up to 30 days to comply with this fine, or the Department of Justice will seek collections.
Wow.
Which means that if they don't have,
They could shut them down until they get what they
Yeah.
want.
right.
That's deep.
So if you guys got any old tickets out there you ain't pay or nothing like that, I'm gonna search through mine and check. I'm gonna make sure I take care of them.
Yeah.
What's up, drone shots? Because I can't afford to get shut down. I ain't
Hey,
got
drone
nothing.
shots. No, dude, I understand what you're saying totally. I totally understand. And the fact that they got Hobby King out of all of the companies out there, that
Mhm.
lets you know that either Hobby King pissed somebody off,
Mhm.
or Hobby King got caught with their hand in a cookie jar, and they're going to make an example of them. Because you know as well as I do, there's a lot of companies out there doing it.
Right, but a lot of them I don't see them anymore. And also, remember I told you about Drone World. Drone World,
Mm-hmm.
I tried contacting them. They're gone. I went to what was it, the Better Business Bureau, and the Better Business Bureau says that they're out of business.
For those of you who don't know, Drone World
And
was the place here in New York City locally that everyone was going to have their drones
that's
repaired
California.
and or to purchase drones. And to make a long story short, one day the gate was
That's,
closed when people went to pick up orders,
you got
and
them
it's been
confused
closed
with
since.
Brooklyn Drones.
What happened?
You got them confused with Brooklyn Drones.
I keep talking about Brooklyn drones, man.
Drone
I'm
World
sorry.
is the company in California that were doing the mods for DJI. They did the
Okay.
they
They're
did
the ones you got your drone through.
right. They did the executive kit for the Phantom 4 Pro, and they
Mm-hmm.
did the what was the other one that they called that? Ooh, I can't remember that one, the name of it, but Fire Bridge. They had the Fire Bridge, and then when they went into the V2s, they started doing the V2s, and they did the Max Mod kit for the Mavics. And I mean, you got every bit of what they offered, but it was illegal for them to
Yeah.
put these boosters in. Paul, you got to see these boosters. They're putting in these boosters and helical antennas on the DJI products, and you were getting a couple more miles on the range from what DJI.
Yeah. Easy.
You know, I took the P3 out well over a mile, out 2 miles with this. This thing's not supposed to go over a quarter mile.
Wow.
True. Yeah.
With the
And they were, what made it even worse, they're powered units, self-powered units, right?
yeah, they have a battery
Mm-hmm.
and they have 2 boosters.
Which
And
means
they
it
got
doesn't
the
hurt
mod
your
in and
radio
out.
battery.
Right, and they removed the antennas from the stock antennas, and they work off of the helical antennas.
Wow.
So you're getting
And all I can
confused
say
everything.
is you could probably point one of those things at somebody's belly and they'd fart.
Well, I know the Air 2 sure does fly out a long ways.
Well, now imagine if these guys were still doing these kits like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, I don't FTV, as you guys know, but these guys have ground stations with the helical antennas and all kinds of stuff on a tripod.
mhm.
They
Yep.
get some real
Yep.
distance out of those too.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm new to Crossfire, right? And when I was learning about Crossfire, which is there's Crossfire, there's DJI, then there's everyone else. And I was told Crossfire will get you 3 to 5 miles.
Right.
This is true. FPV. Now, if I just recently found out Crossfire on a fixed wing will get you 8 to 15 miles.
Okay.
And fortunately, they haven't come up with a battery efficient enough for FPV flyers that do it or say be doing it. But these guys that are flying fixed wings, they're doing 4 mile trips, 10 mile trips, 12 mile trips. But they're doing them in countries where that you can get away with that shit, of course. But
Okay.
it's here in the United States because Justin just got a fixed wing.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah,
that.
Justin just got a fixed wing, and now it's coming to the United States. So I'm wondering how they're going to handle fixed wings when with this remote ID. Because everyone talks about FPV drones and camera drones, but no one talks about the fixed wing pilots.
What about them? Same difference.
Yeah, I understand that, but everyone thinks they're in their own class. You know, you have these FPV pilots that say, "I'll never conform to remote ID." Yes, you will.
Nobody's going to tell me.
Yes, no, yes, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, all you guys out there that think you're not going to conform to remote ID when
Not doing it.
it comes into effect, you're not putting a chip in your bird. You will the first time they ask you, how are you broadcasting? And you say, I'm not, and they throw cups on you. That's all I'm going to
All
say.
he gotta do is tape his cell phone to it. He's compliant.
Right. If the cell phone and drone communicate via Bluetooth and or Wi-Fi, they suggest Wi-Fi.
I ain't gonna comply. Take my
So,
drones out of my.
and there's already a rumor in the FPV world that they have a device. They haven't decided what they're going to charge for it, but it's supposed to be the size of an average piece receiver, and they're going to be asking anywhere from $15 to $30 for it, and it will broadcast a broadband signal so you can see the FPV drone and identify it, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So
the next thing that's going to come out is,
but that's in Europe.
You're going to have guys with FPV drones, and on the top of it's going to look like a cell phone. They'll be making phone calls from the damn thing, you know?
Okay.
Listen, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but it's coming. Guys better be ready.
Well, I'm okay.
Michigan Adventures, how you doing? Agent K's here.
You know, basic. What happened?
What's up, Agent K?
Agent K is here.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sorry, I cannot see the chat room tonight, guys. So if you said what's up, and I'm not ignoring you.
Chef Lawrence is cooking.
Yeah. He's over there in
hey, you know what's kind of nice,
Julia Chow kitchen.
What's kind of nice is that mirror behind him. We can see him like he's Martha Stewart or something. He's cooking, you know.
Oh well.
The reflection, yeah.
You can't see when he goes over to the other side.
I'm no Martha Stewart, but from the size of my stomach, I guess I can cook half-ass.
Well, that'd take a big pot for half an ass, wouldn't it?
Well, you can't help yourself, can you? No, it's all good. I'm actually getting ready to put soy sauce in with the onions and stuff, and then I'm going to throw the cornstarch in to make like a little gravy.
Like a little roux.
That's exactly what it is, a roux.
Yeah, a roux, yeah. And then you're going to put the kanga parts in afterwards, right? And then you have a kangaroo.
All right, let's go here. You know what? What did Big Matt say?
He said he can.
What's up, Big Matt?
Anyway, Lawrence, you remember I was telling you about the this one here is kind of funny. Well, I found it to be funny. The FAA is not too happy with this guy, Michael A. Peeler, I would assume, because I don't know if he was a proctor or he just certified these gentlemen that passed their 14 CFR Part 61 exam, but
and basically to fly a damn airplane.
right. But from October of 2008 to December 2019, all of those people he has certified have to be retested. Because the FAA is saying that is the only way that they can be sure that they meet the standards of Title 14 under the Code of the Federal Regulations of 14 CFR Part 61. Apparently, what has happened is homie here either was taking bribes or was just allowing people through. But
Well, you remember Herman
everyone that he is certified within
needs
that
to be
time period has
retested.
to be retested.
Well, Herman,
And this is not for drone pilots. This is for real live
Civilian aircraft. Yep.
Yeah.
yes.
And they worried about whether or not you know not to fly over 400 feet or you flew down the block or just like one block too
Yeah,
late.
we're talking real aircraft here.
This guy is
Herman,
letting in people who are not competent.
you remember the New York City Department of Motor Vehicle scam that was going on?
Yes.
That,
Good God. Yeah. I know about it.
There you go.
Yeah. That was going on all over the state.
Well,
You could go in a motor vehicle and pay somebody some cash and walk out with a license, whether you were a citizen or not.
Well, one of two things took place here. One is that the people that got certified, the majority of them do know how to fly. Or two is people that got certified have never flown since. So,
well, here's the thing. Somebody's faking it.
Yeah. Somebody out there is faking it. That's true.
Maybe they just want to hang around in the Sky Lounge at the airports.
Can you imagine being that guy that's in the plane and does not know what to do?
Yeah. We'd love to hear the communications between the tower. I think I got a problem. What is it? I don't know. It's just not working right.
Okay, well, listen. You guys remember
that flag thingy.
You guys remember last year or the year before, there was a young man who went and he went through the airport, got on a Boeing plane or some kind of Boeing sized plane and took it out on a runway and took the hell off and did a loop-de-loop with a passenger plane. You remember him, right?
Yeah.
He could be one of those people.
Yeah.
You talk the talk, you walk the walk, and they'll let you anywhere.
No, well.
Because that's exactly how he got into the plane. They were cleaning the plane, and he said, now I have to take the plane to the hangar. The cleaning crew got off of the plane. He got on it. Required to be taxied onto the runway. The tower never checked to see if he was scheduled to leave or anything. As far as the tower knew, he was scheduled to get on the runway after loading up. And they gave him authorization to take off. And then after he takes off, you know how the average plane and 107 license, they teach you to make that left?
Yeah.
Well, left. He made a right. And that's when they said, oh shit, something's wrong. Make a long story short, he did a flyby of the tower and came back again while they were trying to find out who this gentleman was, and then actually took a Boeing jet style format, whatever, and did a loop-de-loop and actually landed the plane and everything before they arrested his behind. You'll never see him again, of course, but I think he was one of them dudes that got his pilot's license from that dude there.
I would fire the air traffic controller too.
Yeah. I didn't hear what happened to the air traffic control pilot, but I did hear that. I do remember them saying he got authorization to get on the runway and was cleared for takeoff.
Well, you suppose he learned to fly it? He learned to fly it from an Xbox simulator?
You want to know how? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how he learned to fly on a PC computer simulator. So who needs to go pay somebody $100 for a license? I can watch YouTube.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is he got damn lucky because feeling the actual aircraft maneuvering through this is different than doing that on a simulator. A simulator would have to do more with a non-manned aircraft than it would with a manned aircraft.
Apparently, he had a little bit of knowledge about physics, because until that day, no one had ever did a loop-de-loop with a Boeing-style passenger aircraft before.
Well, actually, this dude Tech, I can't remember his name. He was hired by them when they first went over to jet planes from the propelled, and he actually did it too
Pilot dinner's ready.
on a demonstration for Boeing.
Welcome,
Listen.
Wawat. He just discovered this channel. His name is Wawat.
Who? What's his name?
WHHATWUT. Wawat.
Welcome. Thanks for stopping
Welcome
in.
to the channel.
Every
Why don't
Wednesday
you let
at
us
5 and Sundays at 5 is those guys.
And then Monday night is Paul Mary, the PMS show on his
And
channel.
every day we have Canadian Drone Hub on at 9 a.m. and other days random.
And Paul has the 3 a.m. show.
Yeah, the 3 a.m. show is what Herman and Lawrence, they just die for. They
Stop
just,
it. Stop
The
it.
3 a.m. show was
See,
the
I was going to show you the completed pepper
Zoo Life
steak, Paul,
Chronicles.
but you kind of killed that.
Lawrence, 3 a.m. is Zoo Life Chronicles.
Zula.
Right? Right? We got to see what's happening over at the zoo. Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
everything's done. Hold on. Here you go. Pepper steak is
Oh,
done.
look at that. Look at that. Herman,
The
look
white
at
rice,
that.
white rice is done.
Oh, look
My
at
job
that,
is-
Herman.
My job is finished. Okay, now I can sit the hell down. The problem is my wife is still on the computer until 6.
You know what you could do, right?
What time is it? Oh, still got like 12 minutes.
You know
Well,
what you
you-
do?
What's that?
You cut that in half, right? Leave half for them, and you take the other half and go sit down right next to them.
That's right.
Right next to her on the computer, right?
Yeah, where she can
Talking
smell
about what you're doing.
nothing. Shh, my wife is working from home.
Yeah, right. I can't talk too loud.
See how?
All right.
Now
Well,
you
it
get
was
the
a
computer
success.
back.
True. That's true, but she's going to stay until 6. Definitely. They're trying to make goal. And by working till 6 today, that means she gets off early Friday. She gets off an
Okay.
extra hour early on Friday.
So
What
what's
today?
going on with Justin?
You know what? I see Justin on the weekends when we fly FPV. Oh, Justin was in a blackout. I don't know
Okay.
if he still is. I think
That's what I was
he
asking.
was talking. He was
Anybody
talking to
else out there?
Hadley. He was talking to Hadley yesterday through his phone, and he said the lights went out, and they're talking about they won't be able to make repairs because lines went down
Right.
and everything, so they won't be able to
Yeah, a
make
lot of
repairs
trees
for a
got
couple of
knocked down.
days.
A
Mhm.
lot of trees went down. Did you
One
see
of the houses that I
Story
cleaned
Park?
today, right next door. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Story Park is beaten.
uh-huh. And Astoria Park has a lot of trees.
A lot of tall trees too, and some of them are huge. Paul,
Mm-hmm. With Paul, we're talking
you
over
know about those
10
trees
stories. That's
that
100 years right there.
can't hug 'em?
Well, I would think you'd be going out and get aerial video of that.
Mm-mm. I almost thought about it yesterday morning before the hurricane came. It was the wind was like maybe about 6 miles per hour. And I said I should go to the beach because Sunday, Justin and I were there and the storm was on its way here. And the ocean, they were out there surfing. Usually we get 2 and 3 foot waves. The waves were 5 and 6 foot on Sunday.
Right.
So I said, we went to the beach and flew. Justin was, I don't think he was comfortable flying, but I went out and flew. And Herman, where we were standing on the jetty,
Mm-hmm.
water was
Same
splashing up on there. No, water was splashing up on there. That spot where we stood on the jetties. If
Where
you
we
see
were?
my video, yeah, where we were.
We were that day.
Mm-hmm. Water
Okay,
was
and the
splashing
water
up on the
was coming
jetty.
all the way back there.
Mm-hmm.
Explicit said he still has no power too.
Wow.
I can believe it. Well, to make a long story short, I took my 7-inch out and I went and flew. I did a few passes. There were guys,
Sorry,
Paul,
guys.
have you seen the true fisherman, Paul, that be out there with the boots on?
Oh
There's
yeah,
a guy in the middle of the jetty. Now, the jetties are, how long would you say that jetty is? Maybe 100, 200 feet, 150.
It's out. This is out there. It's out.
Okay, well, say about 100 to 150
Good
foot
distance.
rock jetty. I mean, giant boulders. This guy was out in the middle, okay, with the rubber boots on up to here, and
And he
waves
got
were
fishing.
splashing him, and he had his fishing rod, and he was out there doing his thing. I did a few passes over him, but the end of the jetty was underwater, and that's very rare, which means it was a very high tide.
All the way
But
back near the sand where the
no. Back where we stood,
yeah.
the water was about a foot high, and
But
it
it was
it was
coming all the
going
way
out.
back there though.
Yes, it was coming all the
Wow.
way back to that jetty. Yes, that's how high, and that was on Sunday. So yesterday, I was thinking I should go to the boardwalk. The water should be up to the under the boardwalk by then, Herman. You know where
That's
I
what I'm
carved
saying. It
those
was
guys.
already. It's
It was
already
almost
coming all
there.
the way back. So
It
you talking
wasn't
about the
far.
end of the jetty? It's only
Yeah.
about 10 feet,
hmm
15 feet
But
from
I
there
wanted to go back
to be
tomorrow,
under the
but
boardwalk.
I didn't have any batteries charged, and I used that as an excuse to not lose a bird because, be my luck, as soon as I get out there, the wind starts up or something stupid happens. But anyway, I decided to stay home. But I do have footage flying over the jetty on Sunday before the hurricane got up here, which came on Tuesday, Paul. We got
Now,
hit yesterday with it.
they
Okay.
told those guys no surfing.
Oh,
Now,
they were out there surfing.
I don't know how many of them were out there today, but well, not today, but yesterday, they were told no surfing. So if
They
they
were
were out there,
told
they
no
couldn't.
surfing on Sunday when the waves were 5 and 6 feet high. There was about 10, 15 guys out there. So I know during the
Oh,
hurricane,
yesterday, that if it was like that when you talking about Sunday, then that means that water hit that wall already.
oh yeah, definitely. In
Hey,
fact,
Lawrence,
yeah,
Lawrence, Truth Historian just has joined us for the first time.
okay.
Right?
Truth
Never heard of
Story.
them.
Yeah.
But welcome
Welcome.
to Wednesday nights with those guys.
Thanks for stopping in and hanging out. What is
But
this?
Herman,
Okay.
before that sand that's packed under the boardwalk,
So
before they put that sand there, Herman, the ocean actually used to go under the boardwalk and into my town through there.
okay.
Now, the last time the ocean and the bay met, Jamaica Bay Wildlife Preserve and the
Right.
Atlantic Ocean, was during Sandy.
Okay.
And that's because they had 17-foot waves. The first one was 17, the second one was 22 or 23, and then the third one was like 20 something feet.
Yeah, but they're on the other side. How the hell did they meet each other? They went to the street.
That during that time, that sand wasn't there, Herman. Since Sandy, they packed that sand under there and they put a wall there behind the sand.
Fuck it.
So in order for the water to go over the boardwalk, it's got to be up about 20 feet, 22 feet. Because that's how high we are up on the boardwalk,
Fuck it.
looking down.
Drone shots is indicating that True Historian got his first drone in NYC.
Oh, get out of here. From
What
where?
you flying?
I don't know.
What are you flying? Where you flying?
Tell us about yourself, True Historian.
Let us know where you're from.
Those guys are always looking for good people to find in New York City.
Yeah.
He got the Mavic Mini.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now
Drone
see,
Shot says he needs probably a little bit of help with the rules.
that's not a problem. If you're new to flying drones,
And he got it from B&H Photo.
Okay.
interesting. And what's his name? Herman?
Truth Historian.
True story? Yeah.
I've never seen that
Well, he's
username.
new. He's new.
Okay.
Brand new.
And he's here in the city with us? Because he said he got it from
Yeah.
B&H Photo. That's
Yeah.
in the city with us.
Yeah. What and Capture Life Connection says what borough, True Historian?
Exactly. What's up, Stevie from the Bronx? Sorry, dude, I cannot see the chat. I don't have access to
And
my
in True
computer.
Historian says Manhattan and BK. I don't know what BK is.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Well, you kind
Manhattan, Brooklyn Flyers.
Well, you got to stay out of Manhattan, man. No flying
Yeah.
in Manhattan. No taking off in Manhattan.
Despite how many New York pilots you see flying in Manhattan.
Although,
Don't do it.
honestly, the little peninsula there.
No, sir, no, stop it. Stop it. You don't fly in Manhattan. Plain and simple. Little Peninsula, he's having flashbacks from when we used to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Well,
No,
Lawrence, just
it,
a
it's
question. Yeah, it probably is not legal, but he could fly in a backyard 50 feet and get used to the controls and stuff, couldn't he?
sure.
Yes.
Provided he's
Yeah.
not in controlled airspace.
As long as he's not right, as he's not within airport limits.
Hey, lens capture.
That's why we were asking, hey, what's up,
Um,
Tom? That's why we were asking what borough you live in, because according to what borough you live in, we can tell you where you can fly and where you can't,
right.
pretty much. And I'm saying legally, because there's a lot of
Brooklyn is got some places. Well, we have Calvert,
Calvert Vaux Park, and
uh,
then there's a great place to practice, Forest Park.
yeah,
Because if you're new to flying Forest Park, no one goes to that
uh,
airfield. No one goes to that airfield because it's a circle created back in the early 1900s for string aircraft, and the trees are so tall. If you're just learning, you're not going to go above the trees anyway. It'll be a perfect place to go fly.
Capture Light Connection says use Central Park only. And then he says, joking, don't do that.
well, the reason why I
Stevie,
mentioned
stop. Behave, Stevie.
Calvert Vaux Park is because Calvert Vaux Park is very aircraft friendly.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And it is so big
They don't
that you
really
can find a corner anywhere to
right.
practice.
They don't care if you're flying from the airfield or if you're flying from the parking lot or the grass off the side or
Exactly.
on the side near the creek. They don't really care if you're on one of the fields. If there's no one on the field and you want to set yourself up and take off, they don't really care too much about that.
True Historian says, I know Forest Park, comma, I went to CK. I don't know what CK is.
CK.
Yes, shut it down, please. CK. I have to restart it. CK. I don't know any parks by that name. CK. That's. He went to CK.
Well, I know Forest Park, and then he says, I went to CK. Capital C, capital K, like it.
Okay.
I don't know any park with those initials. It must be it must be a local private park or something.
Okay.
Huh?
He went up to Christ.
Oh, it's a high school.
In the. Okay.
Christ the King High School.
Queens.
It must be Queens, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not familiar with that park, but what you should do if you're new to flying, honestly, find a place that you're comfortable with and stay there and practice.
Well, like
I teach people how to fly, and I usually teach them how to do a box. First, you learn the controls, up and down, up and down. Then you move forward and back, and then left and right. After that, you learn how to do a box.
Figure eights.
And then the box turns into a box turning only to the left. You go out 10 feet, you stop, you make a turn, you go another 10 feet, you stop until you wind up back in front of you. Once you can do that within a certain range, 10 feet, you go to about 25 feet. Once you can do that, you do it in the other direction, to the right. And then you turn them boxes into a figure eight.
Yep. And then the other thing that the new flyer needs to know, turn that drone around so it's facing you, so you get the feeling of left is now right, right is now left, back is now forward, and forward is now back.
Well, see, that's what happens, Paul, by telling him to do a square. Yep. Because what happens is I'm here, okay, I'm looking at the drone, and I move forward 10 feet, and I make a left-hand turn. I just went yaw to the left, and I move another 10 feet.
Yep.
Okay, then I yaw to the left again. come back towards myself from on the side, and eventually you wind up right back here where you started. But you get used to the turning sideways and realizing, hey, sideways will bring it towards me. And if I'm facing myself, side to the left will take me to my right. It'll all click. Trust me. You're right, Paul. You're 100% right about that.
And the fourth thing to try and practice and learn is, as an average individual, unless you've been trained to do so, is per, distance perspective. How far away, when you see an object in front of you, how far away is that compared to where your drone is? That's when you want to use your camera to get to know that that tree is either in front of your drone, behind your drone, alongside the drone, or whatever.
This is true, but you got to learn to trust your technology.
Yep.
And the reason I'm telling him to move 10 feet is because he will have to look at the screen and know 5 feet, 6 feet. Okay,
Yep.
I'm at 10 feet. I can turn left and I can go another 10 feet, etc. It'll. I teach people how to fly that way, and then I teach them how to fly a GPS drone. And they're like, well, why you didn't show me this? Because you need to know how to fly before you can fly the good shit.
Good shit, lollipop.
Flushing
Yeah.
Meadows RC field, best for beginners in Queens, he said.
It is. It. We call it interference park. It is, depending on what time and what day you get there. If you get there on a Saturday morning, your local FPV guys will be there, and they'll be buzzing around you, and you'll have very bad signal. Go ahead. And if, no, my wife's getting off the computer. And if you go there, like I like to go there early in the morning.
Mhm.
If you can go during the week, that's the best time.
Off access says, just send it, but put somebody else's name on it.
That's not good. That's not good. Anyway, wifey got off of the computer,
Yeah,
so
but Calvert Vibes is
damn,
very
I'm
good
just
in
knocking
cooking.
everything over.
Yeah, you need to get out the kitchen now.
Isn't there a phrase for Lawrence in the kitchen is like in the kitchen?
Stop starting
What
shit,
happened?
Paul. Stop starting. Now Paul is starting stuff.
What is she?
Okay, my phone only charged to damn that much.
Lens Capture did say, though, that Flushing Meadows, you can't find a place to park on the
On
weekend.
the weekend, no.
Yes, this is true, unless you're early.
That's
The
barbecue.
the early bird catches the worm. Plain and simple.
Yeah, that,
Your flying will go a lot better if you get out there early before the lazy people start waking up and coming to fly.
Paul, I'm gonna show you how crazy some of the people are in that part. That's why I don't go there. When
Interference park, Paul.
Yes, when I first started doing my thing, I went over there one day to go fly, and I'm setting up and everything. And these guys come in there and they start playing baseball. Now, mind you, Paul, the airfield is fenced off. They come in the airfield and start playing baseball. So I said to one of the kids, I'm like, yo, look, oh my man, I'm flying here and you guys are playing baseball.
You're not eating.
You know what he told me?
What?
You're not disturbing us. Go ahead.
Give me a second.
Go ahead, huh?
Yeah. You're not disturbing us.
Oh, well, it takes all kinds, doesn't it?
I can't go there. People,
Pepper
you know,
steak.
if you, like he said, if you can't park on the weekend, you go there on the weekend, everyone is barbecuing in every square inch of the grass.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hey,
And it's very.
Big Matt said it, Lawrence. I didn't say it. Big Matt said it.
What'd he say? I didn't hear.
Lawrence is like a bear in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
You know
So
what?
you rummaging around?
Sometimes you're right. Yeah, sometimes,
So he said
especially
he
at
wet his paw and put
especially
it in
at
the
4
fire.
a.m. At 4 a.m. Paul's time.
Yeah, when you're on my live stream, yeah.
No, when the skunks are in your field having a party.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean when you guys are out there 3 a.m.
Hunting wabbit.
Wabbits and deer. Deer
Zootown
and wabbits.
Chronicles.
I'm wabbit hunting.
Yeah.
You fired up your computer yet, Lance?
I'm firing up my computer now, and then I'm going to run to the store.
Uh-oh. He's going to the stove.
Is he gonna run? Do you think?
Not that
No, no,
very
no.
fast.
Oh,
Hey, Paul, I don't run.
okay. So you're
I don't.
gonna shuffle
I
off to
don't.
the store.
I'm going to mosey on down to the
Oh,
store.
yeah, no, there you go. How far
Yeah.
away is the store?
Okay. I live at the top of the hill,
About a
which is
block
90
away.
feet of about a block. Yeah, about a block away.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I thought
It's
maybe you're
just
gonna have to run 2 or 3 miles. You'd have to change your outfit and everything. We'd have to
no,
play
man.
play. What's that theme song from Chariots of Fire? Da, 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 da.
Hey, you want to know what? The beach scene in Chariots of Fire they filmed out here on the peninsula I live
Oh,
on.
really?
Yes. Also, another old movie, which was boring as hell. Sophie's Choice.
Uh-huh.
That
Word.
entire beat movie, all of the beat scenes were filmed out here too. But
Wow.
Sophie's Choice was supposed to be from like the 1920s or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and you remember there was a series on called it's not
Matt?
Boardwalk Empire. Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
When they showed all the casino scenes, they had an Anthony Charles. He has pictures. I never had it because I wasn't interested in it then. But
Mhm.
they have all of the Atlantic City scenes and buildings they had built on the boardwalk here.
Right.
And they
Really?
filmed all of that from, yes, Boardwalk Empire. So any of the casino scenes, well, of course, when they go through the door, there's nothing there. They cut the green screen. But all of the buildings, when they're walking in from one casino to another in Boardwalk Empire, were filmed right out here on that boardwalk.
Wow.
Back then, I was into riding bicycles long
Right.
distance.
In when you go to indoor, you film that inside the studio.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they were doing. But the Boardwalk Empire, and also there was a famous scene where some guys were going to deliver some moonshine, and one of the competitors had found out their route, and they had a major shootout. I remember they sent out letters to people who live in the area. They were not firing firecrackers, we're doing pyrotechnics
Right.
on this night. And those dudes that were delivering the moonshine, they got lit up. It was like everybody was. It was really. We got to watch from the boardwalk, but it was really incredible how they did it. And they shot it 2 times,
Mm-hmm.
and the second time it was good, which makes me want to. Which makes me want to watch it over again.
Did you
Actually,
ever see how they
Lens
do?
capture says that we know that you don't. I do know that you don't live in the sticks, but he says there's a bodega on almost every corner, Paul. Bodega equals store.
well, no, stop, stop, stop.
Actually,
He is 100% right, but a bodega needs to be owned by someone from the Middle East of a Hispanic origin and or someone from a Hispanic origin, and it has been passed down from family to family. Why are you
Herman
shaking
says
no,
no,
Herman?
no, 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 no. He's got his head on a
no,
swivel.
no, 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 no. Bodega is a Dominican thing, and that is
True,
it.
true. Okay,
Everyone else in the city
it's fake.
has inherited that terminology, but that is a Dominican thing, and they will
Yeah.
tell you that.
Well, all I know is you can't. Like Tom said, every other block, and
Oh
not
yeah,
every other block, because you can go from on
two
one four-corner block.
depending
Each
on where you
corner will
live.
have a bodega. Yeah, each
Well, it
corner have
depends
a
on where you
bodega.
live.
Yeah, yes.
It
Listen,
depends on
Herman,
if you
I
move.
need I
Yeah,
need to go dark for about 5 minutes.
that's all right. Because certain places
And
around here,
maybe
you got 8 blocks before you get to the store
yeah,
on
not
the end.
not not in the New York City metropolitan five-borough area. I mean, the furthest you may have to walk, Paul, you see how you walk down to the curb? If you had walked to that guy's car, that may have been too far in some places. Because on one block, you may have 5 or 6 different bodegas. But be careful of which one you go into because there's some unsavory characters in some of them.
Well, it depends on what they got going on.
This is true. Anyway, listen, I
Some
need
of
to
them
go
got the
dark.
K2 going on.
I need to go dark for about 2 minutes. All right? I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Lawrence would have to send them the link. I don't
Oh,
have
well,
it.
he went dark. He can't do it.
Yeah.
Hold on. What's
Lawrence,
going
are you
on?
still listening?
What? Yeah, that's what I was saying. What
Well,
happened?
well, we
To
You
get
wanted to know if
Tom?
you were sending
yeah.
Tom a link to come in.
Okay. All right, I can do that.
But that was the extent of the information that I had tonight. Although I wanted to mention
Give
something
me a second,
on,
Tom.
on that thing there where guys were bashing DJI for that thing with the software. You know, the saddest part about it is that this study was done by a French company that no one knows the name of, and they used this company Grim to substantiate the findings of this investigation. Whereas that the only thing that Grim was even interested in, and after the investigation, was the fact of the bypass on the upgrade. But but from being someone
Okay,
who
sent, Tom.
is a
I'll be
is
back.
an Android user, Android is quite well aware of these things because in in the Play Store for Android, in your settings, there's a section where you can set the thing where is that you have to authorize all updates, meaning that there's no there's no automatic updates. The Play Store then will automatically update those apps, and this is something that
Okay.
happens with Google quite often, and they're quite well aware of that. Now, the whole thing with everybody was worried about the point and thing with these SDKs that DJI had. The one that was removed back in May of 2020, the MobTech, which is a company in China that they transmitted the data through.
Right.
That was removed back then. Now, the other thing that people were worried about um, that does this thing here that people were really going nuts about, no information that wasn't authorized was transmitted from DJI through that Go4 app. That was found in the study. Also, you know how many apps out there that are doing the same thing?
No,
Several of them. There's several of them that have the same SDK encrypted into their software. And this is something that was mentioned in this finding by this company, Grim. So basically, they're really saying that there isn't anything malicious being done by DJI. Just that the only thing that they're worried about is that if there was some malicious intent involved in that backdoor or bypass to update the app, then you would do it not knowingly, but because it hasn't been reviewed, they claim it hasn't been reviewed by Google through the Play Store. Now, I was saying before we were talking about it the other day was that with my tablet that I use to fly, everything that is not needed to run the tablet is off. In the Play Store, I also have it set for whereas that I have to authorize any updates of any app. So none of those apps will update unless I go and okay and I go through and I go into the Play Store and update them. So when you first sign
Herman,
up for all
check
of
to
these
see if
apps,
Tom's trying to come in because I sent him the invite a minute ago. He's
I don't
probably in the
see
waiting
anything.
room. Or Tom, I sent it already.
It would come up in the screen.
Albuquerque Quadcopter has joined us.
Hey, what's up, man? But yeah. So I feel that that's something not only that Google's aware of, because it's something that is commonly I find that where apps with Google will just why would they put it in their settings to um to stop automatic updates if they didn't know it was happening with some of these apps? That means that the app will update and you didn't even know it was going to update. So yeah, basically that's where that's at right now with DJI. DJI really isn't doing anything wrong with that app. Excuse me.
Well, it's funny you talk about that, but I was actually in the middle of sending a text,
Hmm.
but it's DJI is at the pinnacle. So guess who everyone's trying to knock off the top?
Tom says can't get in on the link you sent. Just send the meeting ID and the PW via DM.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I got you, Tom. Right now I'm on it. Hold on, I'll go to the actual email and just there should be a link. All right, let me try this way.
Yeah,
Try
Albuquerque,
copy.
YouTube has been screwing up for the last several days. You might have to refresh it periodically. Just hit
Yeah,
your circle at the top and it'll refresh.
yeah, it kind of
Try
went out
try
early.
this. Try this, Tom. For some reason,
What happened?
sent from. Okay, try this, Tom. I'm trying to send him an invite from my, from the email you sent me. So I just copied the whole thing to send to him.
Big Mac, according to Michael,
Hmm.
he says that if you want to load the new software that just came out for Android only on the Air 2 and the Mini, what you do is you get an Android phone or tablet, you go in
I'm on now.
and you change all of your settings to where you want it to be, because when
Still
it
on the
comes
phone.
up, it will load up. And then once you take that Android phone away and go back to a iOS or a tablet iOS, that it will then automatically boot it up. I don't know. Haven't tried it.
Huh?
What he's saying is you're tricking it to say, like if you have an Android device, right? Like a tablet or whatever, you're
Yeah.
tricking it to download the new update.
Okay.
It'll allow you to
Open
update
road.
it because it's Android. Then you change all your settings you want, like it allows you to do a lot more.
Hmm.
And then you turn around, and when you go back and then shut down and turn it on with your iOS, it comes up with that already loaded.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
I got you.
It sounds good in theory. It makes me scratch my head a little
Sounds
bit.
like a lot of work. What?
Yeah.
What?
But they said that update is really something that gives you much more control of your camera, your settings, and everything else.
What they do to the Go 4 app, Matt?
What happened? I'm sorry, I had to mute.
No, I was asking Matt a question.
Was Tom able to get in
I haven't
through,
seen him yet.
through
Yeah,
that? Because I copied the email.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have him as a friend, Herman, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Then just send it through Messenger. That's how I've been sending it. But I copied the invitation and everything, the invite. Now, on the bottom screen of your Zoom window, there are three dots. You can click on it. No, participants. Click on it, and it'll say invite. Do not click the copy invitation, not copy URL. Copy invitation, and then you
Big
could
Matt
send
said
it
he
to.
did it. Big Matt said he did an update, Herman, but it didn't say what bugs it fixed.
Okay.
I thought I saw Drone X Factor post something about some update on the Mavic Air or some DJI Fly app. What bird uses that? The Air?
Yeah, the Air 2 and the Mini.
Okay, well he said he had posted a video, something pertaining to that. Finally, there's an update for it. Remember, Roger was asking for an update.
Right.
What's up,
But
man?
see, Roger
How you
uses
doing?
iOS. And
Oh,
so
see, I
what
don't know. I
everybody's
don't know
saying
nothing about
is
that.
that update is
It
for
only came out
Android,
for Android.
but you can trick it according to some of those
Oh,
guys we talked about.
you know what? Just wait for it to come out for iOS.
Yeah, they said
Plain
it
and
would be out
simple.
the next week or so.
Ah,
Okay, because that sounds like a lot of work. I
Tom
mean, I
says
know
he
people.
keeps Tom says he keeps getting a bad PW. I don't password.
even on the one that I just sent you.
Yeah, Herman just sent you one. I don't know what's up, but sometimes if I try to invite people from my phone, for some reason it's not copying the invitation exactly the way it should be copied.
And I don't have
I
his
gotta mute a
address, or
second.
I just sent him a link. But
Hmm.
Geek Savannah's here.
Sean, Geek Vanna.
Hey, Sean, what's
Dude,
going on, man?
dude, Sean, you did a great video on how not to get arrested, but I was seriously waiting to hear the Benny Hill music and that copper chasing you.
Albuquerque,
That's all I'm gonna
Albuquerque,
say.
Albuquerque just said the DJI Fly app update for iOS is there now.
Okay,
Okay, good to
I'll
know.
have to check that out.
but
Yeah, but Sean, it was a great video, and
Yeah,
I'm
with the
glad you're
cop.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah. He had sent me the picture the day
yeah.
before, and
yeah, he sent it to me
I was
too.
like,
You
I
said,
was like, no, and then he was like, oh, it was what it is. So very well staged, Sean.
too
I
bad.
will not reveal your sources or how you pulled that off, but that
I
was
think
done very well.
wasn't that the father-in-law?
Paul, now you're starting to ask what color his underwear are. Let the man keep his secret.
Good thing you didn't run into a bad cop.
Well, I wanted to hear the Benny Hill music
Yeah,
and see them running around the field
yeah.
while being
Fast
recorded by
speed.
the drone.
Yep, it would have been perfect when that
What's
officer
up?
came from the background to him. If he'd have sped it up so it looked like Benny Hill going.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
You know, I
Lauren,
miss Benny Hill
Lauren,
and the good-looking women. What happened?
don't be out there rolling no dice. All right.
Oh, you heard me. You heard me walking past the locals. Let me get a half.
Getting the half
Let me mute.
up. Ah. Where you at,
Thank
Lauren?
you. What
You see
happened?
your numbers?
Oh no. I went to
You
the
need a
liquor
lot of
store.
tickets.
I, I come down to the liquor store because I know at some time and point the wifey's gonna go to sleep
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna sit there and want to play some Xbox.
Right.
So after the house quiets down, that's
Mhm.
when I have my fun. That's
Okay.
also why I get up mad early in the morning to have my me time.
Yeah, that's what he was doing, Matt.
Okay, Paul,
Yeah,
Paul, I'm about to walk into a bodega. Now, listen very
That
closely. You may
Dominicans
be
in
able
there?
to tell the environment with the music and everything, but it might be low. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of low today. They must have hangovers.
The music store, that ain't no real
Oh,
bar.
here we go, right under the speaker. You can hear it, Herman?
Yeah, I can hear it. Tell a lady to
Yes,
put a
so
mask on.
the
what what
wife and the daughter.
what are we shopping for?
I'm getting a soda for
Oh,
a
Well,
juice. So I'm gonna get their juice and I'm gonna get my soda.
why is
If
the
you want to
coffee
know
so
what that
made?
noise is, if you want to know what that noise is, they're getting rid of the bodies in the back and wrapping them for me to sell. Let me mute and turn the camera back around. But people accuse me of recording them. You know, we don't want to do that kind of thing.
You know what's some craziness? That music is so distorted you couldn't even get a copyright strike. If they can figure that out, then yeah, give it to me.
Oh, yeah, right. Uh huh. And what's messed up is I just walked out the house without my mask and everything.
Yeah, you,
See
the
what
lady that
happened?
passed you.
Bad boy, what they gonna do?
Yeah.
What they gonna do when they
No,
come?
no, no. See, I was distracted.
See that can't fly with him now, Paul. He got to sit
No,
I am
14 days.
14 days he's got to isolate now.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All because he wanted juice.
Not me. They did.
See, Lawrence, they can't even coexist. One keeps turning to the side because it keeps hitting the other one.
Thank you.
Either that, I need a bigger hand.
Poor Tom, he's still struggling trying to get on.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I got to put you in the pocket.
Now, where do I recopy this link again, Lawrence? Oh, he put me in the
Okay. Down on the bottom where it says participants, right? If you click on it or move the mouse over, it'll say invite. Copy the invitation. Do not copy the URL.
And down at the bottom is copy the invitation.
Right. It'll say copy invitation. That's
Just click on
the full one. Excuse me, ladies. That's the full one that you click on for that you send us.
Yeah,
it has password and all of that stuff.
Why can't just go back to the Zoom window I get it from and give it to you?
However it works. There's multiple ways.
But that's what I did, and I don't know, I haven't seen him.
That one may have expired. That's why we're saying use the active one in Zoom
certain
now.
amount of time. It says in there, Herman, if you don't use it within so many minutes, it expires.
Yeah, it'll expire. Yeah, the original thing. Right.
Because
So
it
they're constantly
randomly
changing it.
It randomly changes the password. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like there he is. He's here.
It worked.
Tom. Hey, Tom.
I'm there.
Hey, Tom. Let me know. Let me find out, Tom. You had to put another quarter in that iPhone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still paying it off, okay?
No, they should put quarter slots on the side of them. How are you, Tom?
Good?
How are you, Tom?
So what's good? Uh-oh.
Hold on, I think he's still setting up.
So who can hear me?
We can
hear you fine. He can't hear us.
You can't hear
in the lower left-hand corner, you need to click on. In the lower left-hand corner, he needs to click on the microphone. It might not be turned on.
Is it turned on? Where it has
You got me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. It's that Apple technology.
Well, I was saying, Tom, that
Single point of frustration.
iPhone should come with a quarter slot on the side of them.
Quarter slot's not enough, man. You got to insert a credit card.
Yeah. They actually have that device for the phone.
Yeah, for conducting business.
They just need to set it up where it goes back to Apple.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what's
if only
going on,
that.
Tom? How's it going?
Another day in
All right,
paradise.
man. Have a good one.
So I missed the whole Lawrence going and visiting the bodega for Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went down there and he didn't get into any dice games.
And Tom, you know what he did wrong?
What'd he do?
He didn't take a mask.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Okay. You're on
Now,
the
when you
ban
get in
list
the
again,
house,
LC.
Yep.
Get
Now
the-
he's got to go home and isolate for 14 days.
No, now I need to
Get the
go
bottle.
home and decontam.
Get the bottle of the rubbing alcohol, right, Lawrence?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
let your wife pour it in your hand and just splash it on.
Stand naked
Yeah,
on the
while I'm
backyard,
sweating,
let him
while
spray you down.
while I'm sweating, so I could turn apple red, right, from the pain and open pores. How you doing?
Just close your eyes first.
No. Oh, so I don't go blind, right? Okay, that's funny.
I thought that only happened when you did something else. I don't
Because
know.
the break dancer will come back.
Yeah, from burning from the rubbing alcohol, blinding me. Then I'll get on the cardboard pole and do the worm.
Yeah, there you go.
Got to have that mask. You kept the social distancing, right?
Oh, yes, most definitely. The only one I
There
got
you go.
close to, which had a plastic sheet between me and her, was the
What?
lady at the cashier.
Yeah,
What
that
plastic
didn't
sheets? I didn't see any sheets. Did
that didn't come off too well.
you?
Okay, never mind. Yes, I
Thank God.
stayed safe.
Good thing you're
Yes, I kept my
outside with that
distance.
one. You're not in the house where they can hear you.
Yeah, you're right about that.
While the
But
lady with the plastic sheets and
what's going on, Tom?
Like I said, another day in paradise, man. Yeah.
Well, all I know is the delay of the Maverick 3 coming out has a lot of people sad
well,
because
Well,
delayed it.
the Chinese are trying to tie it to the election, right?
Well, how
yes,
delayed
yes,
is it?
So that's just like the Russians trying to throw the election, you know. So
of course,
anybody who
right.
wants a
So
Maverick
they're
3
saying
knows who to vote
knows
for
who to
now.
vote for. Yep, yep. Now see how politics comes into everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to play into everything.
See
Yeah,
how politics comes into
that's
everything.
quite interesting.
You
But I
can't
think
get a
is it delayed?
vitamin without politics.
Well, you know, it would have had a lot more traction if they told us what the feature said on the new Mavic 3 is.
Yeah, I know,
Okay? If
right?
they
At
really want
least
to
gave us
steer
a
a vote,
teaser.
come on now.
At least give
Okay?
us a teaser, right?
We still have to go on old patent photos, patent submissions, right?
Well,
Well,
deal.
if that is
Yeah.
what it is, that's why I said, is it a delay? I mean, you never had an actual date for when it was supposed to come out.
True, but
It
they're
was probably a
DJI. They don't need a
August,
date.
September timeframe.
Yeah,
They
If
were
you think of
talking
when the
third.
Mavic
They
2
were
came
talking
out,
third, fourth quarter,
yeah. If you look
leaning
at
more towards the fourth quarter.
right, if you look at what they did with the Mavic 2, that was an August release, right?
uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yep.
End of summer, which you knew you weren't getting until September anyway.
Of
Okay,
course.
Mm-hmm.
but
Back to school.
you know, now it's a big question. Is that a factual statement that was made about it not being released until after the election? Are they really trying not to
You want to know
be
what?
too much
I
on the forefront of things in the current political climate? Who knows? Who knows?
Tom, the way Russia interfered with our political system, the rest of the world is like, hey, I could come out with a piece of gum that lights up when you every time you bite it. I'm sure those stupid Americans will buy it.
Except the Russians, I don't remember buying a Russian product.
I don't
I don't
either.
ever remember buying a Russian product.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
Because even the Russian-made vodka was made somewhere else.
Well,
Well,
just remember back in the day, okay, a few of us here are old enough. People would say, "Don't buy
Speak for
anything that was
yourself.
made in." Yeah, thank you. Don't buy anything that was made in Japan because it's cheap and it's worthless, right?
And that was the
And look at
Chinese. That was the
and
Chinese
right
affecting
now it's the
them.
Chinese, and you know what? Soon it'll be the Americans. Okay.
Well,
Don't buy it if it's
probably.
made in the USA because it's probably low quality. They don't have anybody with the skill set to build it. Which
yeah,
is
you're right.
basically saying
To
we
build it
haven't
or to
invested.
build it or repair it.
Yeah, well, you know what, and right, we don't promote people going to vocational schools because you know there's no value there. You either we're going to train you, send you to college to be a millionaire or be nothing, right?
Well, you know what?
So
Some of those schools have been hurt
big time,
because I
okay.
used to coach at one of them, and they were they were hurt, man. For what they used to be as a school at automotive.
I remember
Yeah.
vying, right?
Yeah.
I had to take an entrance exam to get into aviation high school. I
Yes.
mean, you took exams to get into Catholic high schools, and you took exams
to get into any
the
school.
vocational schools.
Yep.
Because you didn't want to necessarily go to the neighborhood, you know, zoned high school.
Right.
So
exactly. You didn't want to go locally.
To the
and
neighborhood
it was very small numbers that got into these schools that made them prestigious.
That's how it
I don't
was
think
for
they have that
automotive.
traction. Yeah,
That's how it,
yeah.
but you know what it was?
Automotive.
They don't have that attraction anymore
3D.
because they started shitting
Yeah.
on the vocational schools like
Well,
they
you
were
know
already
what?
doing the non-vocational schools.
Automotive, aviation high school had the same status of Stuyvesant and Brooklyn Tech and the heavy science schools. Automotive high and aviation high school had the same status at that time. Okay. And I remember you got out of aviation high school with either one of three things: an FAA airframe license,
Mm-hmm.
an FAA power plant
You
license,
could go straight
or
into work or take
right,
it further.
or if you did well in one of those two tracks, you could be invited back for what was called super senior, and you would go back for an additional 6 months and get the alternate certification. So you could
I
leave that school
remember.
as an A and P mechanic, an airframe and power plant mechanic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you went right into industry already earning,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, you used to get out of, I believe, automotive high with an ASME certification, so you could go work at the dealerships right away, which was more of the white glove type of work instead of.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, those guys used to sideline their work with the street mechanic work also.
Yeah.
You know, and these are people already living in nice houses, okay, because they had a trade.
Of course. Of
We
course.
don't, you know, vocational, whether it's carpentry, okay, whether it's, you know, mechanics, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, you're not seeing U.S. students go into those tracks anymore, and it's a shame. So yeah, we're going to be the country that's known at in the near future being the one you don't want to buy product from, because the product coming out of the US is probably not of high quality because we don't have the skill set here to build it.
You know why they're not going after those jobs anymore? Because nowadays you can sit on your behind at home and buy bitcoins and sell them to the fool who'll buy them.
Well, you know what?
We
Here's the
preached
problem.
academia and
Yeah.
sending kids to
Right, but
college
that's not a
to get a
vocational skill.
degree.
It's
Yeah,
not a
but
vocational
I
skill.
understand
Well,
that.
to
What
get a
I'm
degree
saying
in
to is
what?
that we preached kids exactly in
Get a
getting a
degree in what?
degree and getting a degree
A
and going
degree in
home.
science or arts, but there's no real track there
Right.
unless you actually focus a track. Okay. And then if you really want to be focused in your track, then you got to go to not just your general college, and actually, you know, we're talking about a lot of bucks. Whereas we could institutionalize vocational training in the high schools at a much cheaper rate and actually put these kids out. I remember in aviation high school, I took woodworking, I took electronics, I took welding, okay, I took applied physics,
Coming out of coming
and
out of
that
middle
was all
school.
in high school. That was
Well,
all in high school.
I know this. So coming
Besides
out,
besides academics, because you couldn't get out without the regents
yeah.
diploma. Okay, aviation was strict about that. You got out with a regents diploma, and you got out with, you were either applied physics, you were airframe, or you were power plant. And again, if you were gifted, then you went back for that super senior year.
Right.
Okay,
I
and
went
it wasn't
into,
like getting left back; it was
but
like getting
but
ahead.
it started back in middle school, Tom, because in middle school you had wood shop, you had metal, you
Nah,
had
I went
things
to a
like that.
Catholic parochial school. I had
Oh.
avoiding the nun 101. Okay, ducking quick enough before getting hit with the ruler. You know,
Oh.
those were life skills. Okay, that was basically infantry
My
training back
wife
then.
went to
Okay,
Catholic school, so she tells me
I took that
stories.
class.
well, I had a nun with one leg shorter than the other, and that was just an excuse to carry the cane. And she wielded both ends of that. She could clothesline you
Oh,
with the
she could
hook
whip you
or
with it.
hit you with the other end. Right, right. Okay. And if you got hit and went home and told mom, you got hit again.
Yeah,
So
for opening your mouth.
you kept your scars to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That builds character, I believe. Okay.
Roger wants to know, did the update work, Paul?
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm on just getting the tablet up and running.
I remember when I was in Catholic school, we had gotten into a lot of trouble.
I had friends that were in
We had a
Catholic
fire
school.
drill.
I used to feel sorry for them because they were girls. They had to wear a uniform.
We had the
Yeah, we wore uniforms.
fire steps, the fire stairs in our classroom, and this kid Michael, he had to open the door and be the first one out the door, which means that Michael should be the first one to the street. Well, one day after the fire drill, the teacher and the principal got in us because by the time Michael got downstairs last, Michael had footprints all over his shirt and he was dirty. So how did this happen if he sits right next to the door and the teacher goes through and says, follow me down the stairs?
So he rescues everyone else, but has a high risk of dying because he's last.
It's called the Stampede.
He got trampled.
He got trampled. It was the Stampede.
Wow.
Okay.
I did have friends who lived on the block who went to Catholic school. And I do remember there were those certain Catholic holidays that they stayed home and we were in school.
Very few.
Days that we went to school, we stayed home and they went to school.
Yeah.
Very few of them.
Yeah. There were a few of those.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
being an altar boy was your way to get out of class in the morning if you had to go serve a funeral.
Oh, get
Okay.
out.
So, we had that going on too. And that was how we made some side money too. Of course, you would serve a wedding and then the best man would give you a few bucks as a tip. And I remember we had a priest who was the altar boy coordinator. And he said, look, you have to turn in the money you get from tips because I'm going to take you on a class trip every year.
Wow.
And I said to my mom the first time I got a tip, and it was a $20 bill. I was like living on High Street with that $20 bill as an 11-year-old. And I remember my mom saying, only give the priest $5 of that. I go, but Mom, isn't that lying? She goes, no, it's wealth distribution. Okay. And plus, he's never taken you guys anywhere. Okay. But getting back to the meat of it, we're not investing in our kids today, and we're gonna pay a huge price here. I mean, I love to see kids involved with the drones and stuff like that, and because it's starting to excite them, And guess what? It's the perfect transition from playing the video game console.
Yeah.
To actually getting your hands on a real piece of technology.
Therein lies the problem, Paul. Everyone today does not have hands-on. And a perfect example of that is my nephew is in his 30s now. But at the age 17, I taught him how to throw a football. Whereas we knew how to throw a football from the time we could pick it up and throw it.
Well, Lawrence, we were in the summertime. You got up in the morning to get out.
Yes.
And you were told you got to be home when the street lights come on.
Yep.
No, I was told lunch. You had to come home for lunch. Well, then you could go back.
Yeah, we did that. Well, again, in the neighborhood, every parent was your parent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you could be disciplined by any of them. Okay. And they could discipline you and rat you out
and drag you home.
Oh yeah.
If they dragged you
absolutely.
Home, if they dragged you home out of the embarrassment of that neighbor or that other parent dragging you home, you got to get your butt beat.
Oh
you
yeah.
Guys
but remember, you played sewer to sewer ball, whether it was football, stickball, okay, soccer. Well, I grew up with a bunch of Italian kids. That's how I figured out how to play soccer. Okay. But there wasn't a sport we didn't play in the street.
Right.
And then the factory wall became the handball court or the AC-doocy court.
That's what I grew up playing, handball.
Right. And then we played silly stuff like Johnny Go Ride the Pony, where today there'd be major lawsuits on that. Okay. Of course, the chubby kid was the kid up against the wall. And then his team would all hunker down, the anchor. Right. And then the other kids would jump on your back to try to break your back. Right. Now imagine telling parents today.
I'm familiar with the game, but we actually go ahead, Herman.
My grandmother used to go to we were on the other side of the building, to the window and yell your name, and you're in the middle of a game of baseball or something, and everybody will look at you.
Yeah,
you got to either go upstairs or she would call us to go to the store.
Wow.
And throw money out the window.
Have you guys ever heard of a game called Poison Ball?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure.
And for those of you who don't know what Poison Ball was, you would have a group of about maybe 10 to 15 guys, because the girls didn't play with us back then. And it would be like in a handball court. And you would throw the ball up in the air, and whoever caught the ball would catch the ball and try to hit the person closest to them.
Yeah, you used to get the little welts from the Spalding,
yes, you would
remember?
go upstairs with little
Yeah.
dots on you, man. Oh,
Right,
take your
right.
shirt off.
Today they believe that's like hot stone therapy. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for us it was the Spalding welt.
There's a lot of things that we did that
Your
our own
Zuma too.
generation wouldn't let our kids do.
That's true. That's true.
So Agent K says the origin of the word soccer is from England. Look, we're completely screwed up here, okay? We have a
Yes.
game we play with an oblong ball. We really barely touch it with our foot, and we call that football,
Yeah, true.
okay?
True.
So, you're talking to a bunch of Americans here that don't have a clue.
That's because that no one uses the drop kick and all of those things anymore in football.
No.
Yeah, you only see stuff. I gotta put my phone on the charge. You only see stuff like that on TV if you're watching wrestling or something.
Yeah,
Not
but
so
see,
real.
now kids are, they don't get out. Here we are in the middle of this situation where we're stuck indoors because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But even before COVID, kids didn't get outside. They didn't go out and play. They didn't go out and adventure. They didn't experience anything unless it wound up on a screen in front of them. And part of the problem we're facing today is that you have to have, like, look, Stevie just said capture life connection. He's got his youngest on a limit with electronics, iPad and Xbox.
Okay.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's being a good parent, right? Yeah, you have to limit them to that, and they have to have some external influences, and start to realize this world is a lot bigger than a screen in front of you. And that's kind of why I love, UAS is the drones, and whether you're a camera drone nut or an FPV nut, it's all, now you're experiencing something a lot larger than you. Okay. And
Even
also
fixed wing.
getting to see how this stuff can make a difference. As an enthusiast, you love it because it's the release. It's, you get to free your mind. I find it's a giant stress reliever.
I agree.
Well,
But now when you start looking at what else it can do, how it can better society and everything, now you can start to branch out. So these kids that are getting more involved in it, and that's why I'm very concerned about limiting this kind of technology,
right,
because it's going to limit the youth with this technology as well. We're trying to hunker through it. Okay, we'll deal with this regulation. We'll deal with that. Kids aren't going to want to deal with those constraints. Okay.
True.
And that's why you can't get too tight with this stuff, because if you do, you're going to hobble that mind of theirs in how they can. We're looking at them to the future, okay, to solve our problems today. And if you don't give them the skill set to do it, we're destined to fail.
You're right. It's funny. Look, I remember when I was a kid, the streets, if you look at the street, it was the street actual had little bits of glass from broken glass, from broken bottles, and the bottle tops embedded in the street.
Yeah.
We switched over to plastics, and that might have helped, but they claimed that the video games and the computer helped clean the streets. Got the kids off the street.
Yeah, but now they can't throw a football at 10 years old. 12 years
Well,
old.
the bigger problem is they can't interact
run.
with somebody unless they have a headset on.
Right, and I'm listening to the
That's
people
another thing,
talking now about these kids being at home and how not interacting with their friends is causing this and causing that. They never interacted with their friends anyway.
That's true.
They FaceTime their friends and they text their friends anyway.
Tom, they're just right next to each other or across
Yeah,
from
that's
each other
the
on a
funny
train
part,
and they're
though.
texting. And they're
Yeah,
texting.
well,
Right.
again, they don't have that social interaction, especially those young adolescent and young teen girls. They would all sit around the table, but they'd be FaceTiming each other,
Right.
or Snapchatting each other, right?
But they can do that from their home.
Yeah, well, you know what? By not being out there, I remember, look, we used to get into our little fisticuffs, our little fist fights and stuff, okay?
Yeah.
But we worked out most of our most of our
By the
conflicts.
end of the day, you were playing
Okay.
stickball together
You
or
were
something.
you were exactly you were best buds again. Okay.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that's missing too. We don't know how to deal with other people, and we don't know how to disagree with people in a respectful manner.
No, we don't.
Okay. So all of this is something that we as a society have to try to change. And I think we got to figure out a way to give our youth more opportunities. Okay. Now, YouTube, okay, watching YouTube, again, there's got to be a level of
Double-edged
common
sword.
sense that's provisioned by the parent. There's got to be some oversight by the parent, because not everything on YouTube, okay,
Is
should
real
be
or
ingested
correct.
by the
Is
youth.
real or corrected or should be
True.
seen.
Right. It's
Well,
much
you
like
know the plot?
Wikipedia. Okay. If you quote Wikipedia on a regular basis, you're destined to be wrong in a majority of those cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can
So,
add your own information to Wikipedia.
and it doesn't have to be right. And it takes a
Yeah.
long time for it to be vetted.
Hey,
Well, the same thing with YouTube. You put something up on YouTube, everybody thinks it's gospel, and it's not.
No.
Okay.
hey,
No,
what's
I'm
up,
sorry to
recovery
tell you,
man?
Herman. Sorry to burst that bubble.
Damn, I gotta go fix that
Okay.
thing. I'll be back.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
Paul, are you going flying?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
I could see because he's got his bag ready, he's got his hat on. Mia's ready to go.
Yeah. Mia's ready to rock and roll.
There you go,
Okay,
Paul.
well, you got 9 minutes. When is the ship coming in?
Well, I'm tracking it now. It's
Show us what you're trying to catch, man.
like Herman has not opened that up. So
Oh,
Screen
sharing.
share.
Turn on the sharing.
Okay.
There you go.
to show you what I'm watching.
Yeah, Geek Spawner. I'll
two
leave that
ships
to your
coming.
own judgment whether you should
Are
be
you
flying
saying I shouldn't
exactly
fly
like
exactly
that one.
like Drone X?
Edwin H.
Drone
Edwin H.
YX,
Scott is
not Drone X,
1,000.
Drone
That's
YX.
1,000 footer, and this one is 1,000 footer as well, Indiana Harbor. And that is by scale 3 miles, 6 miles out, and it's doing about 10 knots.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have much time, Paul.
Yeah. Paul.
No, but it only takes me about 10 minutes to get there. But this time of day, people go buy their lunch and eat down there because they can't go to restaurants. So I
Right.
got to find a place to park. So I'm going to leave you guys, but
All right, Paul.
Tom, it's always great to see you. And
Paul, it's a
Lawrence,
pleasure.
Wait. How the hell?
thanks for the
I'm the
visit
guest.
to the
I'm the guest. I
bodega.
got top billing today.
Thanks
Okay.
for the bodega visit, and Lawrence,
fly safe.
Herman, I leave you in charge.
No problem,
Fly
Paul.
safe.
No
Fly safe,
problem.
Paul.
See you guys.
Stay safe,
All
Paul.
right. Later, man.
All right, Paul.
Yes.
So
See,
where is Paul actually?
Port Huron.
Oh, okay.
Area.
I was just going to say that's one of the Great Lakes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
what I thought.
one of the main inlets where they snake their way down through
Sure.
the Midwest as far as they
Yeah.
can go.
Where it gets really cold.
Yeah, cold.
Oh yeah, it gets cold up there.
Oh,
Sure
he's
it
really
does.
trying to
cold.
send every winter. He's trying to send snow this way, but last year we were lucky. None of it made it to New York.
I worked with a guy who was in the Navy, and he would wear like these little jackets. I'm like, yo, dude, you not cold? He said, this is not cold. He goes, you want to know cold? Go out to there's a Navy training base out there near the Great Lakes.
Yeah, in fact, my grandson just transferred from there. It's the Great Lakes Naval Training Center.
He said,
And I
"It really
remember
gets
when my
cold out
son
there."
graduated from boot camp, we went out. Okay, my wife and I went out to see him graduate, and it was actually the real temperature, not real feel. The real temperature was 15 below. Okay.
Yes,
And you know, this last time we went for my grandson's graduation, it was 10 below.
We don't do cold weather well.
That's not.
No, I'm no longer a fan of it. Okay, and that's why I'm going to Vegas, baby. Okay. But then again, I got to go chase 75 degrees in July and August because Phoenix last week had a temperature of 118 degrees.
Yes, yes. Hadley
Right,
Real
told
just keep
Hadley.
temperature.
your shoes
Hadley
Real
on.
told me
temperature.
that. Yes,
Keep your
Hadley
shoes on and
told
make
me
sure you keep a hat with a bird.
118. The shade was 100 plus in the
Yeah,
shade.
it's funny. It's funny when you go to Vegas and the first time you realize they actually air condition the outside streets. Okay, they actually have
Get
these
out of here.
misting poles.
Yeah.
So it's basically an
Okay.
inverted fan with water jets, and it mists water. And when you're walking down the Vegas Strip and you see a bunch of people standing around what looks to be a street lamp, you
It's
then realize, oh, they're trying to cool off.
wow.
Okay.
See, that's too
I
much.
actually found it to be more tolerable than when it's
Well,
out
yeah.
here.
Okay. So a great T-shirt I saw that I tried to get my hands on years ago was basically it was a skeleton on a Chase Lounge with a beer in its hand,
Mm-hmm.
and it said, "It's a dry heat." Okay, it's still effing hot. Okay, so I went into the Mojave to do some photography, and it was
Yeah.
120 degrees. It was at first when you first got out of the vehicle, it felt like a blast oven. You
Mm-hmm.
did acclimate to it slightly, and I always carried 2 2-liter bottles of water with me.
Right.
And I saw a fill station along my way, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I should fill one of my bottles so I don't run short." And I realized I had already gone through 2 of those bottles.
Damn.
Okay, because and the other thing is you don't sweat. Okay, you sizzle. You don't sweat. The perspiration reaches the surface and it's gone. And you got to be real careful with that. I
It's
mean, you see me guys when I go out to fly with you. I'm normally wearing the long sleeve shirt, but those are long sleeve, super light SPF 50 shirts
right.
because me and sunscreen have an intimate relationship. Okay,
Oh, get out. You have a
so
history.
I only come in 2 shades: lobster red and Minnesota white. Okay, and nothing in between. Nothing in between.
You know what? It's funny you say that because Hadley um is it just recently signed a contract with the BBC. They're over here in the States to catch what they call a muhab or something dust storm. It's like this major,
Yes.
major dust
Yeah,
storm that
they're
happens
right.
during this time of the year.
Yep.
And he's actually on call because they watch the weather. They're storm chase, they're storm
Yeah.
chase. And supposedly because he got it because he flies FPV.
Yeah.
And he's to get camera drone footage as well, but this will be the first time that the BBC or anyone has gotten footage of
Right.
this dust storm from an FPV point.
Yeah.
You
We
build a
love to go
drone
out
that
in the
you
desert.
build a
To
drone that does 130 miles per hour, and
yeah.
if the dust storm is at 90 to 100, you still got 20, 30 miles per hour to play around with.
It depends on which. It could also be like the orbit when they went to the moon that it slingshots you.
Well,
Okay.
he's prepared. He's prepared to lose a bird or two because when he mentioned
Yeah.
what
You
they were
have
going
to
to
be.
pay him for the
Yeah.
footage, it's worth it. You have to
But
put that
Paying
in a
paying
risk
your voters.
assessment. You have to
oh
put
yeah,
that in a risk
absolutely.
assessment, Tom. If
Yep.
you're going out there and the bird costs $1,100, that's a risk assessment
Oh sure.
added to that list. And the same
Yeah.
thing with the FPV bird.
And depending
So
on where he's flying, he might have had to officially file that risk assessment with the FAA
Mm-hmm.
and with the U.S. Park Service, because if he's flying in the Mojave,
mhm.
sections of the Mojave, remember, are a national park.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Now we go off the beaten track out there, and we love capturing the those dust devils that
Yeah.
pop up,
He
and
hit
they
they
have
they
lives.
pop up
They
in
have
front of
lives of
in his
their own.
backyard like
Yeah.
a rainstorm. You
Yeah.
just be standing,
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Yo, Lord, check this out," and you see right in his
Yeah.
backyard.
And they just come up out of nowhere sometimes on you.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
And I'm talking
But
2 and 3 story, 4 story dust devils,
oh,
and then
easy,
all of a sudden
easy.
they just
You know
break.
what? Larger, even larger than that, even larger than that. And they just pop up out of nowhere.
Hey, John
And
Coopy.
sometimes you'll
John,
catch
what's
the
good?
ATVs out there, okay? Which is great because you start to fly around them. They love it, by the way, when you're flying by them on the ATVs, okay? but they can start kicking up some stuff that just turns into a life of itself also, you know. But what I really like out there is, so we're in Henderson, Nevada. We're up in the hills overlooking the Las Vegas Valley. So Vegas, so most people don't realize Vegas is high desert. So Vegas is already 2,800 feet above sea level. Okay. We're another 300-400 feet above that. But so in Vegas, it could be 100 degrees. Okay. Right. But we take a ride into Mount Charleston, which is maybe a 30-minute drive, you know, especially with the speed limit being 75 out there.
Yeah.
You take a 30-minute drive and you go up 8,000 feet. It's 75 degrees.
You don't realize it.
Yeah. And you know, we look at the Catskills as being very tall, and look at these mountains, and no. You go out there.
Out there,
and those are real.
Those are real mountain ranges.
Yeah, Mount Charleston is 11,000 feet. When we went through the Rockies, we went up to 12,750 feet.
And you know what? That would probably bug me out, because I go across to Jersey to those 3,000-foot lookouts and my ears pop.
Oh, no, your ears on these drives, your ears are popping every 1,000 feet, okay? So they're constantly going.
As you're adjusting to the pressure.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you do realize how precious breath is. So, you know, you don't overexert yourself at those altitudes, because you get winded getting out of the car. Okay,
I could believe it.
And you also got to remember, flying is different at those altitudes.
Right.
Okay, less you air. Have different reaction times and
less
stuff.
Less air, a lot thinner.
You got less air, so those motors work a lot harder as a result.
Right, to create more thrust.
To create the lift necessary.
Probably when you land, your motors are pretty warm.
Well, yeah, you're not getting the full battery that you think you're getting, and you have to make adjustments for that.
Okay.
You know. But, you know, I really haven't run into difficulty out there flying. I mean, no, I'm not a guy who's flying on the Las Vegas Strip. I'm not flying on the Las Vegas Strip because the Las Vegas Strip is abutted right up to an international airport.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I've actually done aerial photography in Vegas as a paid photographer.
Okay.
But I had to get clearance, and it was in a helicopter standing on the pylon. Okay.
Right.
I had to film the towers for the MGM Grand when they put up the 3 vacation towers. You know, I did on the job and all, and got actually the wife to go with me, which was pretty hysterical. She thought the helicopter was broken, and I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean broken? Well, it doesn't have doors. Okay. And I go, no, because we're photographing. So, but yeah, flying in the mountains and stuff like that has been a pleasure out there. And then you have Red Rock Canyon. Okay, Red Rock, where it is a national, basically a national preserve, but you are allowed to fly there. And you talk about stunning colors. You go there, it looks like the place is on fire.
Have you heard of some place over there called Sawtooth Ridge or Sawtooth Mountain?
Yeah, sure.
Hadley lives in
not
that
far
area.
from there.
Yeah, he's not far from there.
So he's a little further south. Yeah.
He's flown there. Yeah, actually has a great video flying those FPV, going up to the peaks and coming back down.
I got to go look at that. Definitely. I'm writing that down.
I'll send you Hadley's video from there.
Cool.
I'll personally send it to you on Messenger from there.
Good deal.
And it's
good deal.
It's one of the few videos that inspired me to get into long range cruising in FPV. Seriously. This was before I knew Hadley the way as a friend. I know him better now, but I was watching videos, and that particular video came up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's me." And I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you made that." But listen, it's after 7.
That time.
Yep.
It's dinner time. I got some pepper steak waiting for me.
Ready, guys?
Yes.
Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. There we go. We appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Keep coming back.
I'd like to thank you guys for coming in, hanging out and talking tonight. And I'd like to thank you guys in the chat for coming and hanging out with us, because without you, none of this would be possible. Thank you.
And
guys.
don't leave without clicking the thumbs up.
Right, guys, hit
Yep,
that like button on the way in, and if you didn't, hit it on the way out. I thank you, and I appreciate you all. And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.